Hello everyone. Today video is on a basic CRUD operation demo on Elasticsearch using Kibana. So we know that Elasticsearch is a powerful search engine where we can query and retrieve data very fastly. And whereas Kibana is a UI tool where we can query or update or delete the records into the Elasticsearch engine very easily. So Kibana is a friendly user interface which works on top of the Elasticsearch. So what is the definition of Elasticsearch? Elasticsearch is a distributed, free and open search and analytics engine for all types of data, including textual, numerical, and geospatial, and structured and unstructured. It provides simple REST API. With that, we can feel distributed nature, speed, and scalability. Elasticsearch stores data in JSON format. Okay, so each JSON format data record in Elasticsearch is called document. So in a normal database terminology, items in the database are called records. So same way here the items in the Elasticsearch are called documents, and in that document we store the data as a JSON format. So documents are queried or searched by the index. Okay. So index holds the reference to the respective document. So we can think index is equivalent to the table. Okay. So using index, we can track the documents or query or search the documents. Okay. So here are some of the Elasticsearch use cases like application search, website search, enterprise search, login and log analytics, infrastructure metrics, and container monitoring and application performance monitoring. Okay. So what is Kibana? Kibana is a free, open and front-end application that sits on top of the Elastic Stack, providing search and data visualization capabilities for data indexed in the Elasticsearch. Okay, so Kibana simply can called as a UI tool, user interface tool, where we can easily query or search the data of the Elasticsearch. For this demo, I am going to run two containers, one for Elasticsearch and one for Kibana in my local. So to work with Docker containers, you should first install the Docker desktop application based on your operating system. Okay, so you can click here and install it. So once you install it, you can see a application running on your machine like this. And so while you want to work with Docker, you should always open this application. Then only Docker instance will run in our system, local machine. Okay. Now we have another website like hub.docker.com. So this hub.docker.com contains all the images of various applications. Okay. So in this Docker Hub, we can search for our Elastic image and Kibana image. So image is nothing but the minimum files that can be used by a container to run. Okay. So we have to run these images as a containers into our local system. Okay. If you want, you can check for the commands how to run them onto the local machine here, or else I am going to show now. Here are the few commands. With that, with the help of these commands, I am going to run the Elastic and Kibana containers in my local machine very easily. Okay, first command is to create a network. So, so the purpose of creating the network is we are going to run our Elastic and Kibana containers under the same network. Okay, for creating the network, command is like docker network create, and here is the name of the network. This one. So you can name anything. Okay, there is no specification for naming. You can give any name for your network. Okay, so first let's create the network by running this command. So simply open the command prompt and paste the command and run it. And you can see a ID got created here. That means our network has been successfully created. Okay. Now, as a first next step, let me run the Elastic container in my local system. So for that, the command is like docker, okay, space run, okay, hyphen d. Hyphen d means detached mode, means I am saying to container to run as a background job, okay. So hyphen d means detached mode, and hyphen name means name of our container. Okay, here I named my container like Elastic. You can give any name of your choice, but give a meaningful name. So the container name should self self explains about what image you are running. Okay, so I name it like Elastic here, and hyphen network means we can specify the under which network this container should run. So just now we have created one network, right? Same network name I can give here. And next, hyphen p means what port number I want to expose my Elastic image. So by default, on that on right hand side, port number is the default port number of the Elasticsearch. So here I am exposing to the left hand side of the port. So here left hand side, you can give any port number if you want, but you can give it as it is same port number if you want to expose. Okay, and hyphen e represents an environmental variable that we are setting an environmental variable like run the our Docker sorry Elasticsearch engine as single node in my local system. And here finally, this is the name of the image. Okay, Elasticsearch. This is the name of the image, and this is the version. Okay, so this can be called as tag. So let me run the container for my Elasticsearch. So copy the command and run it here. And before running, I want to mention one thing. If the image is already downloaded in your local system, like Elasticsearch image, so it will what it will do, it will create the container and run. If image is not downloaded, then it will pull from the Docker Hub, okay, and store it in your local. Then container will create. Okay, my in my case, I have already downloaded the image, so it will directly run the container. Okay. So here I got ID that says my container for Elasticsearch is up and running. Okay, same way, let's run the Kibana as well. So here is the command for running the Kibana like a Docker run hyphen d specify like a detached mode means run the Kibana container as a background job, and hyphen name is container name. You can give any specific name, but more relevant to the image that we are going to containerize. So here I name it like Kibana, and hyphen net. We have to specify the network name. Okay, just we have created, and hyphen p means exposing the port. So right hand side port is the default port of the Kibana, and left hand side is the port that we want to export. And here is the name of the image and its version, we call it as tag. So copy the command. So here you can observe Kibana also successfully running since we have got the ID of the container. Okay. Now I have mentioned Kibana is a UI tool, right? So we can load the UI page from our browser by navigating to the URL like this. So localhost colon, the port number is 5601, right? We are exposing. So we have to specify the 5601. But after running the container, make sure to wait for few minutes to load the Kibana UI tool. Okay. So here our Kibana UI website is loading. You can observe at this port number. Okay, now we are going to use this tool as playground for querying the Elasticsearch because Kibana runs on top of the Elasticsearch. Okay, now click on menu and scroll down, and under managements you can see dev tools. Click on it. Okay, so this console is our query execution terminal where we can query or update our Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch by default while running create nodes. So once node is created means a node will definitely runs under a cluster. So first we have to check whether the cluster is created or not. For that, clear this console. Okay. and it is a get HTTP GET request, and we can specify like, see here some intelligence is showing. If we are using default keywords, we can take the help of the intelligence. So you can see cluster, and here you can see cluster slash help. That shows the cluster is running or not. So once your command is writing your command is finished, you need to click on this send request button, this green button. Okay, see, I got some information with the 200 OK status, and I got some default cluster name. Okay, since we are using Docker containers, right? So everything names will be default. And here you can see status green. So status green represents cluster is active. Okay, and now inside of cluster we can check how many number of Elasticsearch nodes are running. For that we have to create another query like, so here I am. So it will be also a get request and underscore nodes slash stats. Okay, select this query and run the query. See, here we got some 200 OK response and we got some response as well, some huge response. Okay, in that just check the first object about the nodes. Okay, so here nodes and total number of nodes running 1 and they are successful. Okay, like this we can check the nodes available in a Elasticsearch. Okay, now I already mentioned. So indexes in Elasticsearch are equivalent to the tables. So first we have to write the indexes. Okay, so to create an index, we have to use a query like, so creating, right? We have to use put. Okay, and simply specify any name. That name will be the name for the index. Okay, so I am naming like person underscore info. This is my index name. Now, if you click on send request, it's going to create a index. Okay, see, acknowledgement true, charts knowledge true, index person info. That means our person info index is created successfully. Okay, this is how we can create a index. Now let's add a documents to the index. So documents are nothing but just like the records in the database, right? So documents will be added into the index, means their reference will be carried out by the index. Okay. So for creating a document, so documents data should be JSON format, right? Means key value pair. So you can you can save a JSON object as a document. Okay. So first, let's create some sample document for our person info index. Okay. So for that, what I can do, I will use post. Okay. And first I need to specify the index name, to which index I want to add the document. So person info is my index name slash hyphen doc, means we are dealing with the document. Okay. Next, we have to open the flower braces. Here we have to pass our JSON properties like key value pairs. I'm going to pass like name, okay, and age. So like this, I want to store it into my uh, as a document. Okay, so it is a post and person info. Now, if I click here, and one more thing, there is no ID column like a unique identifier for this document. So unique identifier will be automatically generated when we use post document slash doc. Okay, we can see now the unique identifier. Run it. See 201, that means created successfully person info document, and here you can see ID. Some string random generated unique identifier string as a ID generated, and result it is created. Okay, so that is how we can create a document in the Elasticsearch. Okay, and there is another way we can create a a document into the Elasticsearch, and in that approach we can specify our unique ID manually, because this random generated unique ID may not be feasible always, right? We may want to use numeric values. So in that case, we can write like, okay, let me clear this off. And now we have to use put. Post will generate auto-generated. Put, we can specify explicitly our ID value. Put name of my index underscore doc and slash. Here you can specify the your ID value. So I am giving my ID value like 1. So my ID value will be the 1 after storing into the Elasticsearch. Okay. So same way, let's open braces, name, Hemant. Okay. So I want to create a new doc, but ID value should be my own. Okay. Now run it. See, ID value created what we have given, and its status is created successfully. So that is how we can create a document into the Elasticsearch using HTTP post and put verbs. Okay. Here there is one more problem with this post or put. For example, if I add something, okay, and I run, see, version changed here too. That means record has been updated. If I add one more thing and click version 3, means record has been updated. So in this approach, record is updated. If not exist, it will create, or else it will updating. But what if we want to restrict? Okay, if the ID is already exist, in that case, this put and post won't work. Okay, because they will update it instead of creating. If the record is already exist, there is one more endpoint. Okay, in Elasticsearch where we can only create unique identifier record only. You cannot update it. Okay, if it is already exist, we cannot create it. It can restrict. Okay, so to do that, we have to use create endpoint. So for that, let's remove this, and I can use same HTTP put word and name of my index slash. Now here not underscore doc. We have to give another endpoint like create. Okay, and now here I can specify my value. I will specify again 1. Already we have created 1, right? Now try to uh, create 1 with unique identifier 1, and let's see the output. So I will name like, okay. So I am using the create endpoint, and I am trying to create with the ID that is already exist in my Elasticsearch. So let's run it. See, Here is the version conflicts. Document is already exist. So this this avoided updating the existing record. Okay, so underscore create endpoint only allows us to insert a new record. Okay, this going to helps to avoiding the accidental updating or accidentally updating the original record in the index of the Elasticsearch. Okay, so that's about the creating the new record. Now let's try to read the record from the our indexes. For that, I can use get HTTP get and name of my index, and here I can specify again doc slash ID, the ID record I want to retrieve. So first record with the ID 1 I want to retrieve. Now if I run, see, I got 200. Okay, and inside of the source property, source object, we can see our data. Okay, so like this you can read the data from the indexes of the Elasticsearch. Okay, now we have seen create and we have seen read. Now let's see update. Okay, so create endpoint only creates right? Similarly, there is another endpoint, that is update endpoint. It only updates. Okay, so for that, I'm going to create a. So here update will use post. Don't confuse. Okay, post. Create will use put there. Okay, and profile info, person info, my index name, and new endpoint like underscore update. Okay, and ID. Which record I want to update? I want to update the ID one record. With this update, I can only update a specific record. So here you can see right our previous query for getting record. So name and age are my JSON object properties. So now I want to update the only age property. So to do that, I can use like, so here I cannot directly pass the object directly. I have to use like doc. First I have to specify doc object. Okay. Inside of the doc object, I have to specify my properties of the document. So I want to update the age to 33. Here 28, right? I want updating to 33. So here some changes. I have to wrap my properties inside of the doc object. So now if I run, here I'm missing column, JSON object, right? So if I execute again, see version 4, data is updated. Now if I call again, read operation to check my data. So get person info is my index underscore doc slash 1. See, now age is updated 33. That means our update operation on the index is successful. Okay, and our final operation, that is delete operation. So delete operation also simple. Here I can use delete. Okay, and person info slash underscore doc, and I can specify the ID 1. So if I run, see, version of my ID1 record updated to 5 and the result is deleted. Now if I again try to fetch the data, the document won't available because I have deleted it. So person info doc slash 1, try to fetch, see, not found. Found false means that record has been deleted. Okay, here also you can see the status code not found. Okay, so that those are all the basic CRUD operations we can do with Elasticsearch using the Kibana UI tool. Okay, so that's all, guys. I hope this video has delivered some useful information to you all. So if you like my video, please support me by subscribing to my channel. Soon we are going to meet with a new videos. Until then, signing off.